This is going to take some time to disentangle, but it's fairly straightforward. Okay. Listen to Mr. Musk's words, okay? Okay. And look at his context, and you can see what a Fruit Loop he is. It's not code. He doesn't represent other Aspergerian people when he does this. There are a lot of people with Asperger's who can appreciate metaphors, okay? Similes, sarcasm. He might actually struggle with that. On the other hand, he might have been casting a very dark spell. Okay, he might be what's called a Blue Lodge Mason who was casting a very dark spell. Let's listen. Here are some components of the spell. Mr. Musk takes what you say literally. These are direct quotes from speeches he's given on stages to different people. Mr. Musk takes what you say literally. He's autistic. Okay, that's not true of everyone with autism. Okay, there are people who can character act, okay, and do sarcasm. It's learned a bit slower in some people. In Asperger's, it might be they're a bit slower to learn, but they still learn. Okay, and even when they do learn, can learn very effectively. However, so treat it like it was a spell. He takes what you say literally. Everyone wants to be him. Right. Here's a quote, here's a tweet from Twitter. Okay, that he posted. You are the media. You are the media. You want to be him, and he takes everything that you say literally. So what he says, he means literally as well. Okay? He's not using code when he talks. He means it. Another thing he was talking about was digital God. Okay? He's a known member of the AI transhuman agenda. One of its leading founders actually through OpenAI and other groups. He allegedly turned his back on that and started talking about the AI apocalypse. There's got AI apocalypse, and for humanity to survive, they're going to have to go to Mars. He's building the rockets. You're a good-looking chick, and you see he's quite smart. Sinclair and whoever else. Ride the rat fart, and he'll he's way up there, right? Okay. Take that as though he doesn't even make any sense to even him. Okay? He doesn't make sense to even him. Okay? Right? It doesn't make any sense that someone who talks like that, okay, would be taken seriously by American government departments and any other foreign country that's allowed subsidiaries of the corporations he's been CEO of to operate in, when he's a flaming lunatic who sits on stage and saying stuff like that. And since the Trump fiasco that you've had over there, has been on stage saying things like, He's a living meme. Okay. Now, part of what he's done is marketing scams to get the incels on side. He is known for trying to appeal to men who are single, kind of geeky. Think LOL cats is funny. And because a cat's the only pussy they're gonna get, basically. Dudes who wish they were superheroes, kind of thing. Like action figurines, sort of Sheldon Cooper stereotypes, maybe. Perhaps the Howard Wolowitzes of the world, maybe. And basically his target market is 14. Okay? And his target market is 14 because they're the people, the kind of people, and not anonymous, because they're the kind of people that don't like women, are prone to racism, are prone to having very cult views of reality, but dress it up as though that they were capable of they were challenging it. They're known for coining words like the Jewocracy and times 1,000 autism, things like that. Okay, so he is someone who. Why would those people be his target market or audience? Well, we're not seeing people who are single men who eat cheeses and play World of Warcraft all day, having $50,000 to buy a Tesla motor car. We're not seeing those people being qualified to become an astronaut and fly on a rocket into outer space. We are, however, seeing those people showing an interest in things like computing, artificial intelligence, robotics, and the tech industry more generally. And we are seeing those people as coming from a generation that, unsurprisingly, in some cases, did do robotics degrees. And unsurprisingly, the robotics company in question had an Optimus robot. Okay, as though some guys in their 40s were watching Transformers when they were growing up and said they're going to build one of them one day. And it's like, yeah, the Optimus robot. Yeah, okay. Of course you called it that. Okay. Next thing, let's think you have a cloning fucking factory for people and call them He-Man and She-Ra. Like seriously. Okay. So, the kinds of characters involved in that sort of thing, 4chan and what's the name? Type characters, Anonymous, Elon Musk type characters. All the people that work for his company are the kinds of people that would buy sex dolls, robotic sex dolls. They can't get real girlfriends. They're incels. They're people who would have mixed opinions on Elliot Rodgers, but be amongst the same class of people that would do the same stupid, toxic things that contributed to Elliot Rodgers' complete and utter ideological stupidity. You're talking about men who were raised on a toxic diet of mainstream media, chock full of 1980s and 1970s cartoon, which had cartoons which had sexist stereotypes in them, um, and presented an image of heroism as a battle between competing factions of run by well-resourced individuals, supporting state machinery. So a lot of the superhero comics that come from Marvel and DC, even when they're not depicting the character Tony Stark or Iron Man as the one that doesn't have superhero powers. Because remember, the X-Men have superhero powers. Tony Stark doesn't. So in some ways, it's kind of a battle between the X-Men and X. You've got Elon Musk, the Tony Stark character, who was jealous of the X-Men for having natural superpowers. And you've got the X-Men who believed they had superpowers and were jealous of Tony Stark for being able to present as such, even though he was just cosplaying and laughing because Jimmy Kimmel taught him to. And he thought it was funny, it would make him some money, and it did. And so the phrase, "you are the media," needs to be taken seriously in the context of the AI transhuman agenda. You are the internet. You are living on the internet. Take those words literally. You want to understand how diabolical that man is, Mr. Musk, and how diabolical the 4chaners of the world are, and how diabolical that agenda is. Listen to these words again. You are on the media, digital god. You are the media, digital god. You are living on the internet. Okay? Take that literally. And start having a look at just how many frequency healing videos have come up about banishing AI, banishing artificial intelligence connections with entities and so on and so forth, and respective AI clearings. And take that literally. You are the media. You are living on the internet. Now let's take a step back and say you don't have to do that. You don't have to live on the internet. You're not really the media. God isn't digital. God isn't artificial intelligence. You're not artificial intelligence. And go back to the agenda. Okay. The New Age movement has been saying since the 2022 Nobel Prize for Physics. The physicists have proven the world is simulation. No, they haven't. The physicists made a very different argument about how space-time as a construct may or may not be used as a construct or unit of measurement in particular fields like ideas in physics, and whether or not it's even needed. They haven't even come up with a hypothesis to test in a laboratory vis-a-vis simulation idea. What really happened was in 2003, Nick Bostrom published a paper called a thought experiment. It's not a hypothesis, it's not a thesis, it's not a theory, it's not a fact. It's an idea, similar to Plato's cave. And then they made some illusory correlations between that and Plato's cave, right? See how easy it was to do that? It's not the same as Plato's cave. Okay? You don't actually live in a cave. Okay? You don't actually live in a simulation, or at least you're not supposed to. Okay? 2003 is the beginning of the AI transhuman agenda. With that, you get a bunch of people who were sitting around. Okay? It was not really the beginning of the agenda. Okay? It's the beginning of the generation of Transformer-loving Optimus Prime robot wannabes who thought they were grungy because they might have Like the people who watched The Terminator and didn't think it was a warning and decided to open Dyson robotics, yeah, those kind of characters. So the way out of it is to acknowledge the world is not a simulation. No matter what they've done, that's not what it really is. You're not a robot. You're not an alien. You're, heaven forbid, you're not the World Wide Web or anything that might be on a web. Again, no matter what they've done or what they do, you need to see this for what it is. Incels. Incels learnt dark magic tricks and technomancy to abuse women. And they don't represent all men. They represent the dark web. And the dark web took over the OPM a couple of months back and lost his job at Tesla. And the dark web is about to get sued by Tesla for damages. Okay? Now, why is that a metaphor then rather than a fact? Well, the part where Tesla sues Musk for damages is not a metaphor, it's a fact. Why is dark web a metaphor? It's a metaphor because he is a seedy character. He is a dark, seedy character who even admitted he was the virus. But he did so in the context of cursing other people and being part of a group of people who did. So what he's trying to say there, when the protesters are the antibodies, is it's their job to clean up after him. He's an entitled prat who made a mess of everyone's lives with a group of morons because Tony Stark wanted to be fucking goddamn what's his name? Wanted to be Magneto or something. He wanted to be a real X-Men. So XXX on all the companies. Okay? He's a bad person. He doesn't have a heart. He's stolen from people. He's stolen people from people. Him and his compatriots, which are the 4chaners and the incels, did that. Not Donald Trump. Elon Musk. Sam Altman. Peter Thiel. Okay? These are entitled prats that are worse entitled than just grabbing you by the pussy. Okay? These are entitled prats who not only see people as robots, okay, they want women as sex doll, but they are willing to find ways to turn them into it. To turn people into cyborgs and robots. They are classist, sexist, racist pigs. That man should be bled for all he's worth by Tesla Motors. Sued for damages until he is bankrupt completely. Now you need to understand that the military in Australia tried to protect people from that curse for 2 years. They knew something was wrong with 4chan. So the Australian Signals Directorate had shut down 4chan in Australia for 2 years. They were even able to identify the offenders in the AI transhuman agenda in Australia, and they live in Queensland. Okay, there are a couple. There are a couple in New South Wales, but mostly they live in Queensland, and there might be a couple in other states as well. So they use a mixture of things to pull it off. Okay, a mixture of agendas occurred. That's one of them, and there was no simulation until they did that. What this is about as well is about worldviews butting heads and having different opinions on a subject. Okay, misinterpreting other people's ideas, okay, and going in gung ho and having an attitude of disrespect and dishonesty and furthering problems. You know, those Johnny come latelys that investigate and then and sometimes you can get a glimpse of what's actually helpful in the sense that didn't comprehend that earlier. But on the other hand, um, is that solving the problem now? Type of thing. Okay, it's sort of what it's sort of they don't these are racists, sexist, classist people who go out of their way to manipulate and abuse. They've gone out of their way to create realms, technology, ideas and worldviews to befuddle people. Worldviews like Christianity, worldviews like the New Age movement. That New Age movement turned around saying a simulation has been proved by the scientists, but it hasn't. The simulation has been created through SEER. It was not there 10 years ago. It was not there 20 years ago. They've been trying to create it for some time. Okay? They tricked and they befuddled soldiers. They tricked and they befuddled people until each one became a piece of their agenda. And now he wants to say to you on AI video that he is billionaire looking for a wife, that it was too much about mind and now he's about heart, that is a great man, is a kind person. He's none of those things. Look at what Vivek Ramaswamy said in a video last year. He said they've been spending 20 years trying to turn him into a good person. He might not be himself. Okay? You need to find him and his doppelgangers. And you need to shoot, to kill, and show no patience or mercy. He cannot be trusted, nor can the members of his cadre. If you New Agers want to know what the cabal is, it's men. And you have to say yes or men because of the dummies. And if any of you out there find this funny, you need to go see a psychiatrist about your NPD and your callousness. Please, don't believe any of the world's cults and religions. And know this, that man's running a cult. That Elon Musk is running a cult, and so are his friends. So, Elon Musk the Boba Fett. Elon Musk the Boba Fett. Again, not code. Elon Musk the Boba Fett, okay, is a mercenary who does not have your best interest at heart, and he's thieving. Look at him, Clone Wars, working with the Clone Wars people, huh? making all the stormtroopers. Are you their stormtroopers? Is he trying to put you into the Optimus robots? Don't let him. You stupid New Ages in pods, because that's what he was trying to do.